Good afternoon, Villa fans. Welcome to a match reaction. I was really close to not doing this. Didn't really want to talk about the game, but I thought I've got to jump on for a few minutes at least and give my thoughts and stay consistent. Villa have been consistently shit. I wanted to stay consistent. Villa not playing very well at the moment. Dumped out of the Carabao Cup third round stage on penalties last night against Brentford. I did mention the match reaction, didn't hold back, and this is going to be equally as damning, really, in terms of what is going on. I mean, I've titled this one "What Now?" because it looks and it seems like, what the hell can we do? You know, last night we tried to freshen it up with new players. Emery went with the front line that I kind of wanted to see. You know, I wanted Rodgers and Watkins to be rested and benched, and they were. You know, we gave Guessand, Malen a chance. Put in Sancho from the start. Harvey Elliott came in. So, you know, we played all the players that we wanted to see. But yet again, no kind of cohesion. I mean, first 20 minutes was a bit of a nothing game, really. Kind of little attacks here and there. Brentford had probably the first big chance with the header tipped over from Bezo. But Villa, I don't know what's happening with my football club. Really don't. From where we were last year to the highs of that PSG performance and beating them at Villa Park to what we're seeing now is, you know, it's night and day, really, isn't it, in terms of what's going on? But what does Emery have to do now? So many questions are being asked. Is it Emery? Is it the players? Is it both? You know, if we get rid of Emery, who's going to come in? Nobody wants to get rid of Emery. I certainly don't want to get rid of Emery. But something needs to change. Formation, Emery, does he have a plan B? I mean, this was his kind of downfall at Arsenal, as well as that he always stuck to the same way of playing and there was no plan B. And I think we're seeing that now. This 3-year cycle that Emery has at clubs is bearing fruit. We're seeing it now. You know, should all managers have a 3-year contract and sort of see how they get on? But last night, I mean, yes, we ended the goal drought, but my goodness, we nearly missed that one too. Through the legs of the goalkeeper, who was shocking, and we didn't put him on enough pressure in the whole game. Squirms into the back of the net, and yeah, okay, we'll take that. Half-time, 1-0 up in a game where there's very little sort of going on. Evan Guessand, I mean, I'm going to call him Bertrand Guessand because he's the second coming of Bertrand Traore, and I would even say Bertrand Traore is better. Bertrand Traore could control the ball, could go past players. I know it's early days with Evan Guessand and maybe he's still adapting, but my goodness, I haven't seen anything from him that I think, wow. And also, why was he playing from the wing? Surely play him up top. Malen was running around like a lost dog in the park, just chasing after stuff. Not even chasing after him, he was walking and jogging. He was just pissed off as everyone else was. But we wanted to see Malen, but he's not a striker. And if he is a striker, he's a second striker, someone to play off the big man and win the sort of flick-ons. But no team in the world plays with 2 strikers anymore. So he's kind of, his role and his position is a bit obsolete at the moment. He's not really a winger. He's like, you know, Niall Quinn and Kevin Phillips. He's the Kevin Phillips to the Niall Quinn. But nobody plays the big man, little man anymore. And so, you know, I don't see where he fits into our lineup and our team. And what a waste of money he's looking like as well. 20-odd million, 140 grand a week. Why did Emery even sign him? We haven't seen a lot of him from the bench. I mean, he's come on here and there last season and scored sort of 2 or 3 games in a row, which he looked good playing from the right-hand side. And then all of a sudden we're putting him up front against 2 giants. Couldn't understand that thinking. And even if you tried that and it wasn't working, and it was evident it wasn't working from the first even half an hour. I mean, he barely touched the ball. Switch it around. Fluid. Do you know what I mean? Put Guessand up there for 10 minutes or so. Switch it around. The other thing that really pissed me off yesterday was the lack of movement. And I said this in my instant match reaction as well. The lack of movement at Aston Villa compared to Brentford even. And this was a Brentford B team, let's remember. You know, they made 10 changes to the Premier League game. I mean, you saw players from Brentford running off the ball, running into channels. Dango Otaria, prime example of how to play as a front man. He didn't stay central. He didn't allow himself to get marked by Konsa and Powell. He pulled into the channels in behind Martin and Powell, and he was picking up the ball in dangerous positions. We needed to do that. We had chances, especially there was a moment in the second half where we had the ball on kind of the left-hand side. I think Martin, I think Harvey Elliott was over there at some point, and it was literally just passing the ball around in the circle. And all it was going to take is just someone to make an off-the-ball run and go into the box to, take a defender with you, open up some space. Nobody moved. You could have thrown a blanket over our midfields, our 5 midfielders then that we had there. It was ridiculous that nobody made a forward run. Frank Lampard made a career out of scoring goals because he made forward runs. Paul Scholes, the same. All they did was make forward runs into the box and get on the end of things, cut backs here and there, whatever. We do not move. It's like they're chess pieces. They don't move. Why? I know I said that the long throw is coming back into fashion all of a sudden, especially when you're playing Brentford and other teams are trying it now as well. Off the ball running. Let's have that back into fashion, please. You might actually score a goal. Because when you do make that run off the ball, you're going to drag defenders with you. They've got to go with you. By staying still, you're easily marked. It's basic football. It's under 9 stuff. You teach them about moving, pulling them out wide a little bit, making runs in behind. None of that. When somebody did try to do a run in behind, like Ollie Watkins, we're not even on the same wavelength to try to pick him out. But, I'm not going to praise Ollie Watkins because I thought he was poor as well when he came on for the last, 10, 15 minutes. Bottling out of 50-50 challenges. Obviously doesn't want to get injured. The body language of the entire team, not even 1 or 2 players. This is what is really concerning now. I think they've stopped listening to Unai Emery. I think that same voice, the 2-hour sessions and debriefs, have really just maybe, they're not buying into it anymore. They're not listening to it anymore. And that's my concern, because you saw the reaction of Harvey Elliott coming off the pitch. I mean, that was obviously not planned, a planned substitution there, because he was fuming on that bench. Marlon came off as well and didn't even acknowledge Unai Emery, just walked away in the opposite direction. He was pissed off as well. So not as though these subs were planned, saying, okay, Harvey, we're going to give you 70, 75 minutes and then we'll bring you off. No, none of that. And then the penalty takers at the end, I mean, I'm jumping around here, but the shocking thing was, and there was you could see a little bit of an argument between Emery and Rodgers just before the penalties. And I was wondering, what's going on there? And it turns out Emery did the interview after the game, said that Rodgers wanted to take a penalty. So I dissed Rodgers for not stepping up and taking one. He actually did want to take one. But Emery said no. Why would you not give Morgan Rodgers, one of your best players, your best attacking players, an opportunity to take a penalty? What's going on there? You allow Matty Cash to step forward before Morgan Rodgers. I don't get it. Why didn't Emery trust Rodgers? If something happened there, you can see there was a bit of friction there. So that's only going to unsettle things further. He wanted to take a penalty, and Emery said no. And surely that sort of stuff, especially if you're playing in a cup tie, that should be ironed out the day before. Could we get to penalties? Here are the takers. Here's the order, and you do, you practice penalties as well. So it was strange to see that was kind of made up on the fly. That Rodgers wasn't going to take a penalty. And yeah, just listen back to that. Just really concerning about what is going on in there. But the body language of the players looks horrendous. They seem to have lost belief in what Unai Emery is trying to do. This slow build-up. We have players who are fast. We have Marlon, Sancho, Guessand, Watkins, Rodgers, but we don't play with any pace and purpose in our build-up. It's slow, it's tappy, it's recycle the ball back, it's playing in a circle, it's like you're doing a rondo in the middle of a game. It is really pathetic what we're trying to do. That goalkeeper for Brentford, he's only, they signed him from Peterborough. He was a handball international, not even a professional goalkeeper. And you saw the way that he conceded the goal. There was a chance in the second half where he came out for a punch and absolutely flopped it. We didn't even put any pressure on that goalkeeper. No shots from range, no crosses into the box. I mean, it's non-existent. Absolutely non-existent what we're trying to do. so frustrating to watch what we're seeing at the moment. I mean, Tielemans, I know that he didn't play yesterday, but he hasn't come back the same sort of player. He looks like the Leicester Yuri Tielemans. He looks like he's got a bit of bump up on his chin. Looks like he's put on a stone of weight. To be fair, I don't know if it's his facial hair making him look a bit older and a bit more out of shape, but he doesn't look as energetic and getting around the field like he was. There's no pressing. McGinn pressed once and we got a goal from it. Odegaard has done well. I'm not going to criticise him. He's still a young player, but he's not going to be a progressive player for us. He dives into challenges, and as I said, Guessand for me, that's a worry. That is him playing out on the left, and he just didn't know. His first touch was horrendous for a professional footballer. Nothing would stick. Had one driving run in the second half of the ball was played over the top. One bit could have been into Malen or into maybe a midfield runner, whoever was coming in. There was just so much wrong about that performance from start to finish. And it's now we're looking at Sunderland on Sunday. That has now become such a crucial game. If we don't win that game, if we don't score in that game, all of a sudden we are talking crisis. We're talking about what now at the moment. We need to win on Sunday against Sunderland, but Sunderland are looking like a strong team, especially at home. They're not going to be easy. There won't be any mugs. They have recruited well in the summer, and they have bulked out their team. And honestly speaking, I can't see us getting a result there. A draw is probably the best that we can go and wish for, just because of the body language of the players. We've given chances to Malen and Guessand, who said, "Okay, we want to see what they can do." What can they do? Nothing. Ollie Watkins looks very disinterested at the moment. I'm not sure. Even in the summer, there was talks about that, and I don't know if he's a little bit upset about that. Morgan Rogers, as I mentioned, what's happened to this guy? Too much pressure on him, and he's losing the ball so many times. Even yesterday, just not be able to bring the ball under control. It's going in underneath his feet. He did one driving run towards the end, which he produced like a toe poke finish. Why not hit it cleanly? I think there was space to do it. It was almost like on the stretch of it. But guys, it's just very, very frustrating, and it's probably the most frustrated I've been as a Villa fan for a long time. We're not even looking likely that we're going to score goals. It's not as if we're missing chances. We're putting in through balls or crosses into the box, and keepers making saves and things like that. We're not really doing anything. I mean, that goalkeeper produced one save from Matty Cash at the far post towards the end. That Morgan Rogers toe poke, you could say. Apart from that, I can't really remember anything else really going on in terms of shot-wise. But yeah, I don't know what we need to do. Is it a change of formation? I don't want to see a 5 at the back or 3 at the back. I just don't think that works for us. I can't see Unai going to that either. Is it a tweak in midfield? Do we need to maybe go 3 across midfield? He has done that a little bit and done the 2 cams in behind the centre forward. That's what we saw against Everton, really, with the fullbacks trying to provide the width. Not sure about that. How can we get players like Sancho into the game and 1 against 1? Because what we saw with Brentford is that they were just running, just outrunning us. Every time we had the ball, they had 2 or 3 players that were around us. And when we had the ball and they won it, they broke on us with pace and movement and running off the ball. That's the key part of it, running off the ball. Don't stand like a chess piece asking for a pass. Move your ass. Run. Make a run. Make a decoy run if you have to make that run 10 times and you don't get it. Fine. Because the 11th time you make it, you go on and you score. But you need to make forward runs. Otherwise, what we're doing is just literally just passing the ball around in a rondo. And that's rubbish. We cannot do that. We need some movement. We need some pace. We need some confidence in the. I think that's me done on this one. I'll come back to you with a Sunderland preview later on in the week. But please, guys, do subscribe to the channel. I want to grow the numbers. A lot of viewers coming into the videos, but not hitting that like and subscribe button. please do. I want to get as close to 500 as I can. I'm not too far away from that. So cheer me up, hit that like and subscribe, and I'll be back at you soon. Please put your comments in as well. What do you think of the game? What do you think needs to change? Formation, personnel, Emery. If Emery did go, I don't see us getting rid of him, as in sacking him. But is he going to turn around at some point and think, I've done all I can for this club. I can't take it any further. But then what happens to the whole infrastructure of the team? Because it's all built on Unai Emery. The whole backroom staff, the physios, the dietitians, everyone is Emery's staff. We would need to basically reset everything if that happened. And I don't want that to happen. I just want to get it right. There needs to be, honest words in the changing room. Obviously, we can't go into the transfer market. There's not that option really. But I think we've got the players that are there. Harvey Elliott, Sancho, Morgan Rogers, Watkins. They're good players. They just need motivation, an arm around them maybe. I don't know what it is. Kick up the arse maybe for some of them. I'm not sure how some people react better to a kick up the arse. Some people want an arm around the shoulder. It all depends on the individual of that person. But yeah, we need to get it right for Sunderland. If we lose that game, we are in big, big trouble. That's 5 games in, and we could be sat at the bottom of the table come Sunday evening. So that's not good. That's not good. We've exited the Carabao Cup, which is a cup that I wanted to go far in. That's gone. All eyes on the Premier League now, and all eyes on Sunderland. That's Stadium of Light. Till the next one, guys. Hit that like, subscribe, comment, cheer me up, because I'm a very, very frustrated Villa fan. Up the Villa.